Black people, I know having these race conversations with our children is difficult, but we have got to have these conversations. To not have these conversations, it's setting them up to be in situations like this.
A remote area, a popular summer hotspot for those looking to cool off. But now, disturbing details just released about an incident that occurred here back in July. Court paperwork saying this started when the victim, who is black, told police he was invited to swim at this pond on July 19th. He added after he got here, the victim telling his friends, who are white, he didn't know how to swim, so he put on a life jacket. Investigators adding the suspect started throwing rocks at him, calling him a racial slur, and threatened to beat him up. The suspect, according to the police report, later repeatedly dunking the victim in the pond and swam underneath him to try and pull him underwater. The victim adding he couldn't breathe, and another teen, quote, started laughing and called me George Floyd, obviously making fun of me and showing no remorse. It all eventually ended when the victim yelled for help and someone here on the beach swam out and stopped it. The 14-year-old suspect was in court late last week and has stated he is being charged as a youthful offender, which means even though he is a juvenile, his court proceedings are public and he could potentially be facing an adult sentence. Those at Goose Pond this afternoon in disbelief.
Anything is possible in today's world that we live in, you know. But kind of hard to believe for here. If this kid is the bad egg that they say he is, good to have him off the street.
Why is it hard to believe that it could happen there? This can happen anywhere with any group of kids or adults where the black person is the lone person in the group and all of the others are white people. It can happen anywhere and at any time. And this is why black people need to have these conversations with their children. I know it's a difficult conversation, but you got to have it. If you don't, you're setting them up to be in situations like that poor kid there. The 14-year-old was indicted on charges of attempted murder and assault with a dangerous weapon. Why has he not been charged with a hate crime? And what about the friends that were there watching and laughing as it happened? And his family couldn't be reached for comment. What's also interesting about this article is that even though the authorities have released the teen's name, NBC News, who's reporting on this story, is not going to name the teen. Why is that, NBC? Why are you choosing to not inform the public of a dangerous indicted criminal? Why aren't you letting us know his name when the authorities have made all of this information public? We know why, right, black people? This is how they protect their own. They can have kids who do heinous-ish like this, but they will take the steps necessary to not ruin the rest of their lives. Meanwhile, they have mugshots of our kids plastered all over news media. His name, if he rode his bicycle on Miss Lucille's grass 5 years ago, they're going to have that in their report too. But that's okay. Another news outlet reported what his name is. John Sheeran, 14. And he has been indicted. Black people, when you're having these conversations about race with your children, you also need to make sure they understand that if their friends invite him over for a sleepover and there's no other black kids in the group, yeah, they might not want to be a participant in that sleepover. If there's a party going on and they are the only black kid at the party, yeah, they may not want to go to that party. If they're going to the park, down to the lake, and he's the only black kid there with them, yeah, turn around and go back home.